Greetings, this is Tier Nerd, and welcome to another random episode of whatever it is that I do on this channel. Um, this time I'll be continuing with part 2 of my Fire Emblem 6 linear regression series. Um, so if you saw part 1 was pretty long. I was sort of an introduction to what it is that I'm going to be doing here. But so now I'm going to continue that. So part 1, I correlated base HP with all of the other stats, and we came to the conclusion, which is not too surprising, that strength is the best correlation, correlates best with HP. So strength and HP correlate very well. You would think level would correlate very well with HP, which it does, but strength is actually a better correlator. And interestingly enough, this isn't just strength; this is strength and magic. So even with all of the mages with their low HP and high magic, even with that, it still correlates very well. You had 88% correlation between strength and HP. And then the worst correlated stats were, resistance and movement, which it's not too surprising, especially since Constitution and movement, they don't even change. Like they just, it's static. It doesn't level up. So yeah. So anyway, I did a lot of nerdy stuff last time, so I'm going to continue that. This time we're going to correlate everything with strength, and then if there's time, maybe for defense as well. So I'm going to correlate all the other stats. Now, there's no reason to correlate HP and strength again because, for example, let's see, just to give a example of what we were doing last time. You can put this here. So this is going to be HP, and then in the next column we can put strength right here. So this is HP and this is going to be strength. And then we calculate, and this is what we get. This is our equation. And our correlation right here, if you can see that, it's about 88%, which is what we got last time. Now, what happens if we flip it? So if I put strength here, take strength, and switch it to the X variable, and then I take HP and put it in Y, nothing's really going to change. Like you're still going to get the same 88% if you just switch the order. Nothing really changes. Well, except for one little thing, which I'll note. So if we switch them and put strength here and HP here, then what changes is this equation. So instead of X being HP, where you plug in HP, you're actually plugging in strength. So if you multiply your strength or magic stat by 1.5, and then you add about 12 or 13, then you get approximately what HP you should have given your strength level. And that works with 88% correlation. It's an 88%, the correlation is about 88%, which is really good. So just switching them doesn't change the answer. You're still going to get 88%. What does change, though, is the formula because you switch the order of the X and the Y variables. And then once again, you can kind of look at the residuals and see the closer they are to the line here, the more normal they are. And the farther away they are from the line, the more of an outlier they are. Like this person right here has 21 strength or magic, and they are like, well, wait, I switched it. Yeah, this is strength and magic. And they're like 19 levels below normal, basically. So like, I don't even know who that is right now, but on the top of my head. But yeah, some people are like huge outliers. Like this person's an outlier. I think that's Nime. That might be Nime. Yeah, that might be Nime. Where oh yeah, you're right. Because she has such a huge magic stat, but her HP is like 25 or something. So given her magic stat, she should be like given her HP stat, she should be like 19 levels lower basically because her HP stat is so low. So yeah, we got that. So we're going to continue. This time we're going to do, so I'm going to leave strength and magic, and I'm going to start correlating everything with strength and magic. So let's start with level. Like I'll correlate level first. Level seems like it would be a good correlator. So the X variable is going to be strength. Everything's going to get correlated with strength from now on. And this time we're putting in level. So these are the levels, and these are the strength slash magic values. So for level, if you remember from my last video, if it's a promoted unit, then they start. I add a 20 just to make the levels make a little more sense. So, like Marcus, Zealot, a bunch of units later in the game, like Yodel, it says 40 because he's level 20 promoted. So let's see what happens when we press calculate. So pretty interesting. So if you multiply your strength by 1.5 and you subtract about 4, you would get approximately the skill stat you should have. So the average. So yeah, let's see the residuals. So it looks like it's a pretty good correlation, but we do have quite a lot of outliers. So a lot of outliers where skill doesn't seem to correlate with strength. So it's about here it says 0.788. So if you scroll down here, we can get a better picture right there. The correlation is 0.7881. So let's just say 79%. 79% correlation is pretty good. It's pretty good. 79% correlation between strength and skill, which makes sense because, generally characters that are strong, have a good skill stat, but not always. Some of them have awful hit rates. So strength and skill. Wait. Did I just say skill? Whoops. Nope. We're doing level. Whoops. Let's back it up. I thought messed myself up. So X is strength. So if you multiply, let's start over. If you multiply your strength by 1.5, multiply your strength by 1.5, and then subtract 4, that would be approximately what level you should be at. So yeah, multiply your strength or magic by 1.5, and then subtract 4, and that would be like what level that character would be normally. So if you have like 10 strength, that would be like 15 minus 4, about level 11, basically, if you have about for 10 strength on average. So so that's level, sorry, not skill. Level has about 79% correlation with your strength and magic stats, which makes sense. So the ones that have like normal strength and magic for their level would be here. And the ones that are outliers are the ones that either have like very weak strength slash magic for their level or very strong strength and magic for their level. Like, let me guess, that's Nime. It's always Nime. Like Nime and Yodel are very big outliers since their HP is so much lower, than it should be. So yeah, like what is that? 19 strength slash magic and 17 levels lower than it should be, or maybe something like that. Oh wow! So someone has 19 strength or magic at level 7. Wow! Like who is that? 19. Do we have anyone? 19. Oh wow! Yeah, that's crazy. Zeus. Wow, I did not know. He's only a level 7 Wyvern Rider, and he has 19 strength. Wow, on hard mode. So that's because of hard mode bonuses. So yeah, wow, that's really high. I didn't realize that. So 19 strength at level 7. Yeah, that is ridiculous. That's very overpowered. So and then here you have someone that's like level got 17 strength at level 10, which is very overpowered as well. Level 16, no, 16 strength or magic at level 5. I bet that's Gonzalez. That's probably Gonzalez. Um, yeah, Gonzalez 16 strength at level 5. So yeah, that's really crazy. So you can tell who's an outlier. Like if they're lower down here, that means that their strength or magic is much higher than it should be. And if it's up here, then that means that their strength or magic is a lot lower than it should be. Like here you have someone with like 14 strength or magic and they're like 15 levels lower than they should be. Or like yeah, they're like their strength or magic should be like 15 levels higher than it really is. And then you have some huge outliers here. I bet that's like Yodel and and maybe Nime or someone up here. Like 19. Let's see, Yodel. Yeah, Yodel comes with like 19 magic at level 40, which is a lot lower than it should be. Let's see. I bet he's up here. Yeah. He should be at 19 magic. He should be a much lower. He should be 15 levels lower than he is. So there's so much analysis you could do here. So yeah, that anyway, that's strength and magic with level. So they correlate quite well, 79%. So not skill, but level. I made a mistake. So now we're gonna correlate strength and magic with skill. That's the next thing we're doing. So now we're gonna pick skill, copy, and so this column is the strength and magic. This is gonna be skill. So we're gonna see how well strength and magic correlate with skill. So this time around, um, the correlation's pretty good, decent. A lot, basically on this side, if it's close to the red, it's average. A lot near the average. If it's farther apart, then that means their skill is very different than it should be. So, like this person right here, um, at level 20, they have 28 skill. Someone at level 20 has 28 skill? No, no. Oh, wait. No, no, sorry. 20 HP. Let's see. 20 HP level. I'm getting mixed up. Yeah, yeah. So at 20, right here, they're 28. Who is that? Can't even find who that is. X. X variable is the strength and magic, and then the Y variable is the skill. So yeah, 20 strength and 28 skill. That's who this person is. I think that's Carell actually. Yeah, that is Carell. Yeah, 20 strength and 28 skill. So he's a little bit of an outlier actually. He's a bit of an outlier. Well, here, so mathematically, if you want the formula, multiply your strength or magic by like 0.735 and then add about 2.5 or so, and then that's how to convert. So that's the skill that you should have given your strength or magic. 784, so about 79% correlation. So I actually wasn't too far off. For level, I said it was 79, and skill it's 79 as well. So skill and level correlate about equally actually with strength and magic. So 79%, well, a decent correlation, with some outliers like Carell, who's a bit of an outlier. Um, Generally, I guess the strength stat exceeds the skill stat. Then you have someone down here, probably like Gonzalez or something. Um, 16 strength and 7 skill. I bet Gonzalez has like 7 skill, according to that. Yeah, Gonzalez has 7 skills. So 16 strength, 7 skills. So he's a bit of an outlier, as in he has much, really high strength, low skill. That would be Gonzalez. Yeah, so we got that. So it correlates well. Level correlates well with strength and magic. Skill correlates well with strength and magic. Now let's see speed. How well does speed correlate with strength? I think the correlation is going to be a bit weaker for speed because you have thieves and yeah, mostly because you have thieves, thieves and myrmidons. I also have Elfin and Lalum in the data, which might cause a little bit. They're probably outliers. So let's see. Strength and skill, speed. Yeah, so 40% of your strength or magic plus about 6.6. That would be the speed stat. Yeah, it's not as close, actually. There's a little more discrepancy. Um, you have some huge outliers, like way out here and here. So this would be somebody with 20 strength, but like really low speed or like really high speed. Yeah, and then down here you have someone with like, yeah, basically it's flipped. So yeah, it's not as good. Speed 5.529, so about 53% correlation actually. So about 53% correlation, which is about moderate between the speed and the strength and magic in this case. So yeah, kind of weak. Skill level correlate pretty well. Speed doesn't. Speed doesn't correlate that well with the strength stat, which makes sense because you have thieves and myrmidons in there. Plus, you have characters like Elf and Lala. I mean, there's only two of them, but they do play they do affect the stats a bit. Let's see luck. Let's see how well luck correlates with strength and magic. So let's see. Actually, wait. Pause. Oh yeah. Whoa. Yeah. I forgot to turn on music. um, let's see. So this is strength and magic correlated with luck. Luck is the y variable in this case. So here's your formula again. Your regression line equation. X is strength and magic. So 40% of your strength or magic plus about 3 or 4 or so. That'll give you approximately what luck you should have for the average character. We're talking about the average character. Interesting. It's kind of interesting how everyone's like, they're all piled up like this in the data. I guess there's not as many luck values, probably. Not as many luck values. So, wow, you have some huge outliers out here, actually. I think that this is early on. You have a lot of outliers. People that start with like 1 strength and magic. Oh, that's probably like Lalem and all of them. Yeah, it's probably what it is. So some people outliers. Let's see, what do we get here? 61%, 0.61, right here. Correlation's about 0.61 between strength and magic and luck. Strength, yeah. So luck is a better correlator than speed of determining your strength or your magic stat. So far, the best correlators have been level and skill. Level and skill are about equal, about 70%. Yeah. So luck is pretty good. Let's try defense. Now, I'm kind of interested. I would think strength and defense would correlate quite well with each other, actually. Right? Logically. So, but we never know. Because you do get fighters who have, high strength but kind of low defense. So there's gonna be a little bit of discrepancy. So this is strength and defense correlated with each other. So if you multiply your strength by about 51% and then add 2, then that would be approximately what defense you should have. Now, it's strength and magic, though, so some of the mages are going to have low defense, so that will play a role as well. So most characters are really close, but you do have some huge outliers, like this is somebody with 21... No, wait. If I'm reading this correctly, this is somebody with 21 strength and 5 defense? Really? There's somebody like that? Oh, 21. Probably, you know what? I bet it's 21 magic. Yeah. That's who it is. Wait. 5. That's Nime. I bet that's Nime. 21... Yeah, 21 magic. She has 20. Nime has 21 magic, and she only has 5 defense, 18 resistance. Yeah, that's the outlier. That makes a lot of sense. So she has high magic, but very low defense. So that makes sense. Those are mages. I bet that's Yodel probably. So you get characters like Yodel and Nime who are constantly going to be outliers in the data. So yeah, they're causing some discrepancy here. We get 71% correlation here. So that's pretty good. So it's about as good as level and skill of determining. So they're kind of equal, actually. Like level, skill, and defense. They're pretty good at determining the strength and magic value. Now, if we did this on average final stats or growth rates, then I think the correlation would be better. We are getting some bias because we are including mages, and we do have like fighters who have high strength, low defense. So that is playing a role. That's why we're not getting 90%. We're down about 70% because of that. So you get about 70, 71, 72% correlation, which is pretty good. I think that's the highest so far, actually. Defense, yeah. Excluding HP, because we already did HP last episode. But yeah, strength and HP correlated very well with each other. So that's defense. Now we're going to do resistance. How well does strength and magic correlate with resistance? So for the mages, magic and resistance are probably going to correlate well, but the strength the people with high strength, they're probably not going to correlate very well. So I think since there are a lot more physical attackers than mages, I expect the correlation to not be very well. In another episode, what I might do is separate the attackers from the mages and remove Elfin and Lalum, and then maybe we can get like a better correlation, just correlating the actual strength with HP and all of that. But that might be for another video. And we should get much better results with that. So about 46% of your strength and magic plus about 0.6, and you get the approximate resistance stat. So this is your baseline. A lot of people are very close, and then you have some. Wow, actually, I'm kind of surprised. There are not as many outliers as I thought there would be. They're like the only real outlier is like way out here, who I bet that is once again Yodel. Yeah, that is Yodel. 19. He has 19 magic and 30 resistance. His resistance is way higher than it should be, basically. Usually resistance is lower than magic. He has much higher resistance than magic, which is why. So he's a huge outlier. Nime might also be a bit of an outlier. And you have some others. You have some other outliers out here. These are people, the blue up here that's people where it's higher than normal. Down here is when it's lower than normal. Like this is someone with a high strength stat but low resistance. So like I bet that's like 16 strength, 1 resistance or something. And there's a bunch of people with like 0 resistance or 1 or something. So that's your regression line. Now what I'm surprised with is the correlation's actually quite good. It's almost 50%. 49% correlation, which is not bad. That's almost as good as speed, I think. So resistance actually correlates with strength and magic. Not as bad as you would think. Given the fact that I think only like 1/4 of your characters or less, I think it's like 20% of your characters are mages, the other 80% are attackers. The fact that it's 50% is actually really surprising that you have that high of a correlation. So 50% of correlation for between the strength and magic stats with the resistance stat. That's pretty good. Okay, now the next two are going to be kind of ridiculous. We're going to get constitution and movement. Once again, this is just for as a joke because it doesn't really change. But the results can be very surprising. You might get a lot of correlation with constitution, actually. So this is strength. These are strength stats, right? Yeah, these are our strength stats. Strength 2, 3. Yeah. And let's see, 1920, 1411, 1920. 2, 2, 2, 2, Fa. Yeah. Yeah, then you have characters like Fa. Like her stats are probably a little skewed as well. So yeah, there's some characters that would probably skew the data a bit. But if there's only a few of them, it's not that big of a deal. So this is strength and magic. Once again, Y is going to be constitution. So how well does strength and magic correlate with constitution? It might correlate well. So multiply your magic or strength stat by 0.28 and add about 5, and that'll be your approximate constitution stat. Which obviously, this is going to be very skewed because characters that join later in the game are going to have an increased strength and magic, but their constitution isn't really going to change anyway. So interesting how this works out. This is actually not as bad as you would think. It's 47% correlation. You get some outliers, but they don't mean much. So 47% correlation. It's actually not that bad. Like almost as good as. Like it's actually not that bad. Like it's almost as good as the speed and the resistance stat. Actually, it's once again I'm actually kind of surprised. I expected like 30% because HP and like resistance had like 30% correlation, but here we're getting like almost 47% correlation between strength and magic and the resistance stat. The constitution stat. So constitution correlates well. Now, constitution with HP was like 63%, so obviously that's going to correlate better than with strength and magic. So that was pretty good. Let's try movement. How well does strength and magic correlate with movement? Once again, like this is just for as a joke because we don't really expect anything logical here. Um, yeah, once again, like you're stuck to just four movement, 5 movement, 6 movement, 7 movement, and up here you have the 8 movement stat, 8 movement characters. Um, there's 5. I thought there were 6 of them. Did I leave someone out? So, um, yeah, I thought there were like 6 of them, but we'll see. Like, I mean, you get like Zealot, Marcus, Cecilia, and um, Diane, and I think there's like another one, Percival. Yeah, or something. I mean, there should be one more. Am I leaving someone out? Like, that's kind of surprising. 8, Marcus. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but there should be a few here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6, 6 movement, 7. So we're correlating the strength and magic with the stats of with the movement stat. Now this correlation is like all over the map, and interestingly enough, since there isn't a lot of variety in the types of movement stats you can get, we actually end up with 25 or 26% correlation. So this is a very weak relationship. This is the weakest relationship of any stat. Movement and HP was at least like 36%. So movement correlated better with HP, probably because your promoted units, like Cavaliers, would actually have decent HP. They would have high movement and, decent HP. Whereas movement and your strength and magic, they don't correlate at all because you can have slow people, fast people. So 26%, very like 25, 26%, very low correlation. This is the weakest relationship yet. So they don't correlate very well. Your strength and magic would not correlate very well with movement. Down here we have 3 characters with 4 movement. Your Boars, Barth, and Wendy, they're down here. Then you have a bunch with 5 movement, a good amount with 6 movement, and then 7, and then 8 movement. Now I'm kind of surprised. I remember there being 6 blue dots. Like did someone not get counted? So yeah, there should be, like, I can even count them. Like there should be six characters, but maybe someone is such an outlier they got left off. They got left off or something. 4 or 5, yeah. I guess that can happen. They're such an outlier that they're not even on the chart. So yeah, that is anyway, I think that's about it. Oh, yeah, see, this is interesting. So you take your strength or magic, multiply by like 5%, and then add like 5.5 or so, and that's what movement you should have on average. So very, very, like, very, but this formula is like not very accurate because like I said, correlation's like 25, 26%. So anyway, yeah. So that ends my correlation of strength with everything. Strength does not. So I guess the best correlator so far, in summary, would be level and skill and defense. Yeah, level, skill, and defense correlate very well with strength and magic, which makes sense. And then speed and luck. So luck correlates better, I think. Yeah, luck, speed, and constitution and resistance. Like luck, speed, resistance, constitution. They're like okay. Yeah, they correlate like okay. They're okay correlators. And then movement is like awful. Like movement is an awful correlator. Then if you watch the previous video, you would know that I already did correlate strength and magic with HP, and that was a very good correlation. So that's the strongest relationship yet, I think, between HP and the strength stats. So very, very strong correlation there. In fact, if I remove the mages, it would probably be an even better correlation. So yeah, that's it. That's how I correlated. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I'll start making these videos shorter. The last one was like 40 minutes because I had to introduce a lot of stuff. So, but this video, we can keep it a bit shorter. I think I already said quite a bit. let's see. Yeah, pretty much like it's pretty much the same stuff from now on, but you could just start seeing like the different stuff. Sometimes I might add extra stuff like, oh hey, like this person is an outlier. It's interesting to see like what characters are outliers. But most are going to gravitate towards the center. Yep. So stay tuned for more random off the wall videos about Fire Emblem and memes and uh, tier lists and just random junk that I come up with. So, yep, stay tuned for more.